This week on Arizona Illustrated, Bareback Rider Cody Kiser.
Even when I was a kid, I wanted to be a stuntman. I mean, they have a special guy that just crashes cars and jumps off buildings. It's like, I want to do that.
The Art of the Sign by Jude Cook.
The signs out here have a completely different feel than the signs back on the East Coast. The signs are taken for granted, and you don't even appreciate them until they're gone.
Stella Tucker, a memoriam.
Some of them is for us to eat, and some of it's used as medicine. It plays a big role in our lives.
Tucson Hip Hop, the festival approaches.
One thing that I absolutely love about the hip hop community here in Tucson is that artists within the same genre, within the same community, are supporting one another.
Welcome to Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. La Fiesta de los Vaqueros, also known as the Tucson Rodeo, is back in the old Pueblo. Starting February 16th, 200,000 rodeo fans will turn out to watch 650 cowboys and cowgirls compete for more than $500,000 in prize money. We spent time with one cowboy out of Carson City, Nevada, back in 2016. This is Bareback Rider.
Yeah, it is dangerous. Not every one of them is trying to kill you, but you know, there are some that they're just really tough to ride or kind of have that nature that they just don't want you there a lot. So I've had nasty wrecks, you know, and things, get hung up, and then you have to be able to be like, take that, throw it away, and get on another one. I rode bulls for a very short period of time, and I got hurt real bad when I was in high school, my freshman year. I got stepped on my face, and I've got 2 plates and 8 screws in my face. Broke my cheekbone, and then broke my jaw in 2 places, and unfortunately it happened on Mother's Day, and so, yeah, so it definitely wasn't good. And I decided I wasn't very good at bull riding, so I switched to bucking horses about a year later. And Mom didn't like that right away, but started riding bucking horses and found I was a little better at it.
Welcome to the Tucson Rodeo. How you feeling out there today? Make a little noise. Let me know you're alive out there, will ya?
Oh, it's awesome. Just one of the great rodeos of this spring kind of winter run. Great crowd. The weather's beautiful.
How about we start them off with the banner of our United States Army?
Thank everybody coming out for the rodeo just for that. And then be able to thank people for their service really means a lot.
How about the banner, the red and gold flag of our United States Marine Corps?
You know, my mother and father were strict but not overly bearing, and it was always about having fun, you know, and making sure that everybody was happy. We were always together, hunting and fishing and camping, and it was just a loving family in Carson City. It's a great place to grow up. My dad rode when he was younger. Might have done a couple pro rodeos here and there, and then shoot, I was 3 years old. I started doing rodeo, roping the dummy head on the bale of hay, and then worked my way up from there. I still wear his spurs that he rode with.
Now let's go to Cody Kiser. All the single girls in the grandstands go, woohoo! He's 6'2", tall, dark, handsome, good-looking, rich, and yes, girls, he is single. Okay, there you go. Show him what you got. Holy cow. He owned him, he owned him. Yeah, buddy, yeah, buddy. He is feeling good, and he's got every right to. We'll show you
something that I've always wanted to do. Even when I was a kid, I wanted to be a stuntman. I mean, they have a special guy that just crashes cars and jumps off buildings. It's like, I want to do that. He said, hey, I might have a job for you. And I said, oh yeah, and what's that? He said, I need a bareback rider that meets this description, that can be here on these dates and wants to do it. And I said, hey, I'm your man. Doesn't matter what it is, I'll do it. I got the call to double Bradley Cooper as Chris Kyle in American Sniper and be his stuntman for the rodeo scene at the beginning of the movie. And when I found out it was Bradley Cooper and Clint Eastwood, I was kind of blown away. You know, I wasn't sure if I'd meet them or get to know them or anything, and I was lucky enough to get to meet both of them, and just two of the nicest guys. I mean, both walked up and shook my hand, introduced themselves like I didn't know who they were. That was just by far one of the coolest experiences I've ever had, being able to not only double Bradley Cooper, but as Chris Kyle in this American hero movie about a Navy SEAL that really made a difference. I think that was honoring him, and I think it was honoring a lot of servicemen and women as well.
She belongs to us.
And to be a part of that is a huge honor, huge honor.
If you're proud of her, give her the welcome she deserves. Old Glory. They say behind the bucket chutes there are no atheists. We all need a little help once in a while. So, in your own words and in your own way, please join me.
Whether it be working out, staying in shape, riding the spur board, or getting on horses, you know, not a day goes by that I'm sitting around doing nothing. I'm not any kind of natural talent. Like, it's taken me a lot of work, and I'm still not great at it all the time, you know? Like, it's just something that I've had to really work on. You gotta be healthy. In the world that rodeo is now, you have to be a professional athlete. I mean, you can't be smoking cigarettes or chewing tobacco all the time and be able to do this. Within 5 years, about 50% or a little less of those people that are diagnosed with oral cancer, in about 5 years, they're gone. They've passed on. Be smart, don't start. We got it on my shirt, my vest. You don't have to smoke or chew in order to be a cowboy or be cool, you know, or be successful. I like to be able to show what you can do without that. Rodeo is very much of an old school traditional thing, and nobody wants to change that. So I'm not here to change anybody's opinion. I'm not trying to tell people how to live their life. But my whole thing with oral cancer is getting to the younger generation, and that really stubborn age of about 12, 13 to 18, you know. I know when I was a kid, just having somebody come up to me and give me the time of day and shake my hand, give me a high five, something as simple as that, I know just like blew my mind, right? I've got guys that I ride with that smoke and chew, and they'll have their kids back there, and I'm like, hey, you know, can I give your kids a bandana or something? They're like, oh yeah, sure. Just to mess with me, they'll ask. They're like, hey, you got some chew on you or something? They know I don't chew, and I can handle that. It's not a big deal.
It doesn't matter how good of an actor you are, you gotta ride fucking horses if you're gonna win money in the rodeo business.
And I try to picture my ride going perfect. Picturing what I'm gonna do and what the horse is gonna do, and it's a dance, and we're gonna do the dance, and it's gonna be great.
We'll be the champions of the rodeo, the winners of our rodeo. Get the victory laps today. Now let's go to Cody Kiser. Here's the stunt man from Carson City, Nevada. He was the stunt double.
That horse just doesn't like anybody being on him in the chute. You're not trying to hurt anybody. That's just the way he is. Just first jump out of the chute, just all there. I got behind right away. I got out on the end of my arm and just jerked down. It happened so fast, I can't even tell you. And just got slammed into the ground, but it's all right.
Oh my.
There's not many horses like that out there, and even Benny Butler said that to me, the guy that owns a horse. I mean, a world-class cowboy, stock contractor. We had a fight today, and the horse won a fight, but that's all right. You know, I made it back in third, made a little money here, so that was unreal. You know, I couldn't be happier with that. I'm not just in anything for the money. You know, obviously I'm doing these things because I love what I do, and I want to crash cars and ride bucking horses and jump off buildings.
He owned him, yeah buddy, yeah buddy. He is feeling good and he's got every right to.
Have you noticed the historic neon signs around Tucson? Most of them were preserved by local artist Jude Cook, who moved to Arizona in 1983 after a particularly harsh Iowa winter. He's been perfecting the art of the sign for 40 years.
The Southwest really blossomed for neon signs after the war, when the car culture took off. And that's why we have as many kinds of signs as we have out here. And I feel the signs out here have a completely different feel than the signs back on the East Coast. Style is a little more cash, and the stuff out here tends to be a little more fun. My name's Jude Cook, and we're at the Ignite Sign Art Museum. We opened October 10th of 2018. It's very new. Signs are taken for granted, you know, and you don't even appreciate them until they're gone. Born and raised in Iowa, we moved out here in 1983 after the winter of 1982-83.
And what was it that brought you out here?
The winter of 1982-1983, it was brutal. We were looking for some place with a lot of sun, and we looked at Phoenix and really liked Tucson. Tucson is still a small, big town, and it's a beautiful city. I've developed an appreciation for the history we've got here, specifically through what we're doing. My mother was an artist, and so I went to every art class that she ever taught. When I got through school, I realized regular education's not my thing, so I went to a 2-year school like Pima College for commercial art. I had been working on the side doing sign painting in the evenings, and I finally got to the point where I decided to quit the job I was doing and opened my own shop back in Iowa in 1976. I hired my first employee in '87. I currently have 14 people working for me. It's cool, it's a lot of work. The shop's open 8 hours a day. I generally work 10 to 12. We'll look at colors. You know, I've got a pretty good selection here. Then I can do the neon patterns, do the backgrounds, and it takes us about a week to turn it around.
Okay. That sounds good.
Good deal. Largely we do local businesses, small mom and pop places, but we also work for bigger places. It's interesting, it's a challenge. Sometimes it's really fun, sometimes it's just a lot of work, but you know, I look forward to going to work every day. I still do. The sign industry is underappreciated for what we do because the industry now and even in the past has been doing just some phenomenal stuff. A lot of the stuff I collected was just things that, you know, had reached the point where they weren't going to be used again, but you know, some of it was like, I'm not sure why I'm saving it, but I can see the craftsmanship that was involved in it, and so I stuffed stuff behind things. In fact, I found stuff I didn't even know I had anymore, stuffed behind things. And then I actually consciously started collecting stuff that was cool and small, and then I grew into cool and big. They just accumulated. I went to the American Sign Museum in Cincinnati about 3.5 years ago for a sign event, and he has a phenomenal museum. That must have planted the seed. So my wife and I started looking for buildings. One Sunday morning we did our after church run and worked through this neighborhood and saw the sign on this building. And so we made an offer on it the following Monday. The museum is really at the beginning. You know, we've got a nice critical mass here. We've got enough stuff to make it interesting. We've got a lot of plans yet. There's more to come. There's stuff that hasn't even been touched yet. And we've got things that aren't up, you know, things that are still stowed that I haven't had time to get up. But we have a really nice collection to start with. This one's been stubborn. When the sign was taken down, the SPCA is what it said, but the neon holes don't make any correlation to the letters at all. I started sanding here and I was able to find a D, E, S, but this hole didn't make any sense, so I kept sanding and I picked up the T, and now I can see a ghost of a U, C, S, O, N. I knew that it had been Tucson small animal and desert small animal, but what the configuration was, I had no idea until we started getting into it. And you got to be careful that you don't go too far, because you can completely lose it by sanding all the way through. It's fascinating. It's just one aspect of what we do, but I enjoy that part of it. And I enjoy the research if we can find anything. Part of what I wanted to get across is the industry does so many cool things. And that's why it's called a sign art museum. It's not specifically a neon museum, you know, and we're introducing things that I haven't seen in any other museums around the country. The direction I chose on the museum was not to have it be locked into any specific time frame, and I'm not locked in specifically to Tucson, but I've got a lot of Tucson stuff, and the focus is Tucson. This is interesting. What we're finding is people are showing up and thanking us for doing what we're doing. That was not a response I expected. You know, I'm doing it because I love it, but they actually appreciate it.
Like what you see on Arizona Illustrated? Visit our webpage at azpm.org to watch and share stories from this and previous episodes. And like us on Facebook, where you can watch stories, comment, and share your own story ideas. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram, where we share photos and links about the show and what's happening in our community.
On January 9th, Tohono O'odham elder Stella Tucker passed away at age 71, surrounded by family. Stella was the public face of the annual saguaro fruit harvest in southern Arizona, a Tohono O'odham tradition she learned from her ancestors and passed on to her 3 daughters. This segment was filmed 25 years ago for the long-running AZPM series, The Desert Speaks.
We usually start around 6 o'clock in the morning when it's nice and cool, and get our canteens filled up and make sure we have a nice cool shirt, long sleeve shirt to wear. And we take our stick with us and we walk from saguaro to saguaro and start picking, knocking them down and cleaning them out. Split the pots up and take the fruit out of the pots if they're not quite ripe yet. My youngest daughter's the one in my family that's been here with me, you know, and's been learning. Look at that, Joe. 2 saguaros now. We got almost half a bucket. Boy, it isn't her first time. She's been out here since she's been 3 years old. Every year I'm out here doing it, and I think they probably wonder, why is Mom doing this, you know, out there in the heat all the time for 3 weeks? But I hope that they will continue the culture. Oh, too tall.
See this one?
The culture's been there, always there for years, many, many years. And it only comes once a year, and we respect the saguaros. This is what I like to pick because it's so clean. We respect all the plants and what they give us, such as medicine, the fruit. We may eat it. Some of them is for us to eat, and some of it's used as medicine. And it plays a big role in our lives. because this is our home. We were raised here. Usually the picking's about 2 to 3 hours. We get home about 10 o'clock and then we bring it home and our bucket's full and we soak them in water and prepare it for the coals, for the fire, or put over the fire. And you add some water to it and have enough so it'll boil down to where the fiber and the seeds will separate from the juice. It cooks for about 45 to an hour. And then we'll bring it down off the fire and strain it. Strain it into a screen strainer, and that'll divide the fiber and the seed from the juice and in a separate pot. And the fiber and the seed we lay out in the sun and dry it to prepare it for our jam for later use.
Comes out like this one.
The seeds is used as a porridge, which they call gaich ator. The seeds have to be ground up and then put into this custard or pudding, and then it can be made into candy. And some people use it for chicken feet. We bless ourselves with it on our first picking because we respect the saguaros and how much it's brought us, how much fruit it's brought us, and how much jam and syrup. And then out of the fruit, we make the wine. We have the wine feast, which is also religious culture happening. And then after that, we dance and sing so the rains can come and harvest for the following year. I just don't want the culture to die. I want it to go on forever.
Dates for the 3rd annual Tucson Hip Hop Festival have been announced. Local rappers, performers, and artists will join notable national talent to entertain Tucson hip hop fans. The 4 pillars will be on full display: DJing, breakdancing, graffiti, and rapping. We sat down with festival co-director Jocelyn Valencia last year to learn more.
We ain't out here ain't playing with old day howdy, baby, man. You know what I'm saying?
We're highly border influenced here in Tucson, and I think you see that in everything, in the murals, and the food, in artists, and the way that Tucson artists carry themselves. I think us being in the Southwest and being so close to the Mexican border, that's our taste, that's our sound. It's the most unique city in regards to arts and culture that I've ever visited or been a part of. And I think it has a lot to do with just the community support within Tucson. As a festival, us putting together all the elements of hip hop, being able to have and represent DJing, breakdancing, rapping, live graffiti, panels, just being able to include all of that, I don't think a lot of people know that that all exists here in Tucson. We got really fortunate because of our main supporter since the beginning, which is the U of A, specifically the College of Humanities, and that partnership really developed through me being in their hip hop program. Nothing can stop me now. We've been able to kind of do this trade where an institution gets more connected to the community and vice versa. So once you get involved, you just discover so much talent. Still discovering new people, new scenes, new pockets. One thing that we really wanted to focus on this year also is the representation of Southside rappers, because that's booming right now. One thing that I absolutely love about the hip hop community here in Tucson is that artists within the same genre, within the same community, are supporting one another. Whether that's working together, or promoting each other, or sharing resources, that's really huge.
And now, from our occasional series, Far Afield, this is Sally Roundhouse.
I want a toaster strudel and I don't want to go to school, 'cause my grandma woke me up and said some really messed up shit. She said, Sally, there's been an accident on the highway and a lot of people died and you weren't one of them. She said, Sally, don't you cry because you did not die. You were not in a car accident with a semi-truck. Do, 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 do. I want a toaster strudel and I don't want to go to school, 'cause my grandma saw me getting ready and looking in the mirror at myself, and she said, Sally, let me tell you something real. It's just a little powder, a little paint makes a woman what she ain't. A little powder, a little paint makes a woman new. Why'd you say that to me, Mim? Why'd you say that to me, Mim? Why'd you say that to me, Mim? Why? Do, 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 do. I want a toaster strudel and I don't want to go to school. Yeah, I want a toaster strudel and I don't want to go to school. I want a toaster strudel and I don't want to go to school. Yeah, I want a toaster strudel and I don't want to go to school.
Thank you for joining us here on Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. See you next week.